All Hallows Eve, that time of year, all creatures from beneath are unleashed to the world. It's time to return to where we all started. Another year, but the scares continue. Another month, but the fear proceeds to rise. This is the Venom Month of Horrors 2, the quest for Shet.
Hello and welcome to the second annual Venom Month of Horrors. Another year, and it doesn't get any less scary. On this day a year ago, I tried to pay tribute to George Romero and completely slated his movie Night of the Living Dead. Well, let's take a look at the sequel. Dawn of the Dead takes place, I'm guessing not long after the first film, it's never really specified, but the zombie outbreak is worse than ever. SWAT officer Roger is involved in an attack when he meets Peter, played by the dad from Kenan and Kel. No, really, that's actually the dad from Kenan and Kel.
Kenan! Why?
It's pretty awesome, actually.
Jesus Christ!
And they join forces while their buddy Steven, who looks like Hugh Laurie, steals a chopper and meets up with another Fran, and they hold themselves up in a local shopping mall fighting off the undead brain suckers, whilst collecting things they need until a gang of crazy ass motorcycle gang members show up and attack. Because...
What?
But many die, ending with Peter contemplating suicide but fights back and leaves with Fran as the sole survivors. Hey, the black guy survived in this one! Although Fran admits they don't have much fuel left and the movie ends with them flying off, so they could have easily just crashed and burned somewhere. Yeah, probably.
Ah, shit, man!
Although in the original script, Peter and Francine were both going to commit suicide. Peter would shoot himself and Fran was going to stick her head in between the helicopter's rotator blades. Lovely!
Low-life bastards.
The movie would end with the helicopter blades turning until the engine dies to show that even if they did try to escape, they wouldn't have gotten very far. They decided to change it as they were filming, but they did foreshadow both events which remain in the final film. Peter considers it towards the end, and at one point Fran even leans out of the helicopter when she sees some zombies approaching. I'm not entirely sure how her leaning out of a helicopter is supposed to foreshadow her putting her head between rotator blades, but it's on Wikipedia. Blame Wikipedia, not me.
No, I'm sorry.
The film began to come into fruition in 1974 when Romero was invited by a member of the Oxford Development Company to visit a shopping mall that they managed at the time. The director was shown hidden parts of the building and he noticed how happy the customers all were. His friend joked that if an emergency ever took place, someone would easily be able to survive inside, which is when Romero got the idea and began getting to work. At first, nobody was interested in funding this project, but the sequel idea did reach the ears of Italian horror director Dario Argento, who was a huge fan of the original. He met with the filmmaker to help fund the project and even helped during the writing process. They were actually allowed to film in the real shopping mall that Romero had visited, and filming began on November the 13th, 1977 at the Monroeville Mall in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. Bear in mind, this was during the rush to Christmas, so very often things were delayed, shooting beginning after they closed at 11 PM, and they wouldn't end until 7 in the morning when the automated music began. The place didn't open until 10, but genuinely nobody in the crew could figure out how to turn the music off. That's actually hilarious.
Yeah.
December soon rolled around and they opted to not keep removing all of the Christmas decorations every time, as it would have just taken too long, so is this technically a Christmas movie?
Most of the time, yeah.
To avoid the issue, filming stopped for the last 3 weeks of 1977 to avoid continuity issues, and they lost a lot of valuable time before resuming on January the 3rd, 1978, though during that break, Romero did actually begin editing what he had already shot. The group's hideout scenes was actually a set, and the elevator shaft was as well. The mall did not have these locations, and the gun store wasn't in there either. They had to use a real gun store in Pittsburgh. Filming ended in February of 1978 before editing followed. When shooting, Romero used several different angles to give himself more options during editing. He thought he could simply change an angle or extend a part of some scenes and it would completely change the response that the viewer would get. It did receive constant re-edits and recuts with the international release, but Romero had the rights to the final version and it was finished at 139 minutes, which was scraped down to 127 later on. It was given an X rating for its graphic violence. Jaws is PG. I'm just saying.
Dumb little bastard.
but Romero rejected it and wanted to release it without a rating to help its success, which the United Film Distribution Company agreed to. It was actually refused release in Australia twice until 1980 when they stopped being pussies, but it was released in Italy on September the 1st, 1978, and later on April the 20th, 1979 in the States, to gross a worldwide total of $55 million, making it the most successful entry in the entire franchise. It's one of the best horror films ever made. While Dawn of the Dead is gruesome, sickening, disgusting, violent, brutal and appalling, nobody ever said art had to be in good taste. It's a broader version of Night of the Living Dead. The acting performances are uniformly strong, and the script develops its theme more explicitly with obvious satirical jabs at modern consumer society, as epitomized by the indoor shopping mall where a small band of human survivors take shelter from the zombie plague sweeping the country. Dawn of the Dead is a savage, tongue-in-cheek attack on the foibles of modern city, showcasing explicit gore and horror and turning them into a form of art. However, some weren't too happy with the graphic special effects because they lack a pair of testicles. I walked out after the first 15 minutes. I have this pet peeve about flesh-eating zombies who never stop snacking. It should be called Yawn of the Living. The violence and gore just detract from any development of the characters, making them uninteresting, which loses its impact. Dawn pummels the viewer with a series of ever more grisly events, decapitations, shootings, knifings, flesh tearings, that makes Romero's special effects man Tom Savini the real star of the film. The actors are as woodenly uninteresting as the characters they play. In contrast to the truly frightening Night of the Living Dead, which by the way had no character development whatsoever and you all loved it, I'm just saying.
Bunch of junk.
You begin to laugh with relief that you're not being emotionally challenged or even affected. Dawn of the Dead is just a gross out. The film is occasionally laughable, otherwise sickening or boring. Empire put Dawn of the Dead in their 500 greatest movies ever made list. Playboy selected it as number 10 on the list of sequels that are way better than the original. Fangoria called it the best horror film of 1979, counting the US release. And Entertainment Weekly put it as the 5th best guilty pleasure and the 27th greatest cult film in history. Oh, and of course they remade it in 2004 with Zack Snyder, but who cares?
Wake up, sucker.
So the movie opens. Oh look, I didn't know Ben Savage was in this.
Don't go out there!
Ah! It's like he's doing a fucking dance. The movie doesn't wait around. It almost immediately starts with a zombie outbreak, and these effects are incredible. And at least in this one, the zombies actually look like zombies. Yeah, except for this one black guy just kind of looks like he hasn't eaten for a few days. So close. It's just so close. But hey, these shots of the zombies having lunch are pretty cool.
Just let me pass. I go up the 7th floor to find my sister. Just let me pass. The people of 107 will do what you wish now.
Well, he's gonna turn. Let's get him! Okay, now it just looks like all they've done is painted the zombies blue. Hey, I know! Let's just make all of the undead look like Smurfs! Done! Genius! But man, the zombies still suck. They're all just sitting there while he slowly shoots them all one by one.
We got an idea, maybe we can make it to the island.
Or an acting class.
What island? Any island.
Any acting class. This one does add a lot more comedy though, which works surprisingly well. They treat zombies like it's the norm now. It's so casual. They'll chill with some drinks, see a zombie, shoot it, and then continue like nothing happened. It's brilliant. But what's with this weird-ass music? It sounds like a fish being strangled as it struggles to breathe.
Run! Run! Run!
Is that supposed to be funny? I mean, he's struggling with the zombie. I could take that seriously, but he's like trying to get the hammer, and she's just kind of standing there doing nothing. Why? It doesn't make sense, because later on she becomes one of the most useful characters they have. Oh hey, he must have watched Pink Flamingos. No, seriously, that happened for no reason. His brain just randomly melted. It's the only explanation. But hey, credit to having a pair of balls. Even zombie children get blown away. But I do not understand this. They have guns, but don't use them. I mean, they grab plenty of ammunition, and in fact, later in that very same scene, they do eventually start using them. So what's with this crap? They just use them to melee. What the hell's wrong with you? They'll probably use a grenade to slap someone over the head. I have no analogy. Shut up.
What the hell time is it anyway?
You have a watch on!
We don't know that.
But the movie has some amazing suspense as they struggle to get a door open in time while the zombies slowly begin to approach them. And then they fight them off, but still don't shoot! You have guns! You're American! Use them, it's what you do! Oh hey, they maintain the really weird and awkward silence from the first movie. He even gets bit and remains silent. Why does no one ever talk in the face of danger in these films? You also play this really weird sound effect whenever anyone gets attacked. It sounds like Charlie Brown's classmates are the zombies.
Oh, good grief. Yes, ma'am?
I just find it funny that after all of the shootings, stabbings, you know, melees, he just says screw it and just cracks one upside the jaw. Okay, I know he doesn't want to risk shooting his friend. But just go around the counter and knock the zombie off him! You could have ran to Brazil and back by the time it takes you to ready your shot! Also, does this guy even have any zombie makeup on? It just looks like a normal dude. And this woman just looks so confused. Am I doing this right? I'm a zombie, I guess. Ooh. Also, they go out for supplies and it just looks like they've completely forgotten about Fran. She's completely left behind. The zombie even shows up and they didn't even leave her with a gun to defend herself. What kind of friends are you? Oh, and the zombie has some weird tambourine around his neck for some reason. And despite all of the other zombies biting instantly, this one just kind of flays his arms around at her legs. And like usual, they rescue her and pull her down completely silently. Talk to each other!
No, I mean she really looks sick. Physically.
She's pregnant.
That communications with Detroit have been knocked out. Along with Atlanta.
And it cuts to her smoking. Brilliant character we have here.
You want to get rid of it?
Have reportedly been knocked out.
Do you want to abort it? It's not too late, and I know how.
Okay, he's a douchebag. Great going, guys. I really liked him up until that point.
So I guess we forget about Canada, right? Nobody cares about my vote.
Oh, Fran, I thought you were sleeping.
Was that supposed to be a defense? Hey, Fran. We were only being dickheads behind your back because we thought you couldn't hear us. So it's your fault, really.
Okay, now what's going on?
We're going out. And you're not coming with us. And you won't come with us until you learn how to handle yourself.
You left her behind with no weapons! Oh no, you can't fight off a zombie with your bare hands? What a pussy, you're not allowed in our club. What is wrong with you? Oh wow, they actually gave her a gun this time. There's progress.
Hey, too tall, too slow, too. Come in.
You look my size when you're sitting in the truck.
It wasn't that funny. Or funny at all. And in fact, this scene was actually improvised. You can tell. Oh, come on. This kid literally just has face paint on. He's not even trying to act like a zombie. Then a zombie strokes the dude's face and he just kind of stands there for some reason. But it is a pretty cool shot of him holding the zombie up for Peter to shoot her in the head. The suspense is so good in this version too, which I feel is why it's way better than the original. Zombies are trying to bite Roger, but he manages to escape at the last minute thanks to Fran, who suddenly has absolutely perfect aim despite having never used a gun before.
Roger! Roger, watch it!
How rude! But also, how the hell are they picking out the right key from the dozens they have before being eaten? They do it constantly throughout the entire movie with absolute ease.
Steven, get out, please.
You know, wouldn't it just be a weird, bizarre twist if she just gave premature birth to some demonic zombie child?
We gotta clean it up, brother.
And then they have this goofy-ass circus music as they're disposing of all of the bodies. This is hilarious. And hey, everyone's dreamed of just raiding a supermarket completely deserted before, and they get to live out our dream. But why do they price it all up? There's no one around!
They're after us. They know we're still in here.
They're after the place.
Okay, I know he's supposed to stand there like a badass in his fur coat. No, he looks like a gay pimp. Oh, hey there, girlfriend! I also forgot to mention that Roger actually did get bitten earlier and he falls sick, and yeah, you can guess where this is going. Obviously, to today's standards, it's really predictable. Back then, it was still new and quite intense. Although he takes forever to turn. They think he's sick, so they just give him some morphine. Just hurry up and zombie out already! Roger tries to resist changing, but does ask Peter to kill him if he does, which leads to probably my favourite scene of the entire movie, actually. Roger's blanket starts to slowly move as Peter notices, gets suspicious, and begins to get ready for the worst. It's really subtle, but the tension building is amazing. The music starts to slowly build, he cocks the gun, and we cut to the others to hear the gunshot. It's done perfectly.
Peter, what about you? Where are you going?
This is just for the two of you.
To help you forget that I wish death upon your unborn baby. And this is where they clearly ran out of ideas. I mean, I'm not bored by any means, but they had dinner and now Peter is playing squash on his own. And this is entirely pointless. There's a shot of one of the balls falling off of the roof to get the attention of the zombies to know that they're there, but this literally leads to nothing. This is never touched upon again. It is entirely pointless. Also, what kind of shopping mall has a helipad on the fucking roof anyway?
You never know.
I don't understand why the gang even show up to screw the heroes over. I mean, isn't everybody just trying to survive the zombie apocalypse? I don't see any reason why you would go against other humans. Just share the damn mall.
There's gonna be 1,000 zombies in here.
Oh well, they actually said the Z word. They clearly said earlier that...
Don't try to shoot through those gates. Openings are too small. Bullet will wind up chasing us around in here.
But okay.
Hey man, what the hell you gonna watch on that thing?
Oh man.
And the point of that was... And what's even the purpose of the riot? It just seems random and unnecessary. What, a zombie outbreak wasn't enough? Oh, I felt that. Was there a trampoline up there? That must have been some gun. Okay, this woman's zombie acting is terrible. Yes, I'm totally a zombie. I'm gonna get you. Oh. But hey, this is an awesome scene for Shaun of the Dead to parody decades later. This is also heartbreaking to watch. He's been shot and struggles to pull himself up the elevator shaft with one arm, and you're begging for him to make it, and just when he's about to, he gets pulled down and eaten. God damn it! But hey, he still has the balls to shoot more zombies though whilst injured, so good for him.
He's dead.
I heard his gun. Maybe he's alright.
You also heard his screams of pure terror. Worth mentioning to her? No? Okay. And more goofy music as the zombies roam the place. I love it. But how the hell did he turn so quickly? Roger took like 6 months to change and he's done it in just a few minutes. I also love how there's just this one random zombie holding a rifle to his own face as if he's trying to look down the barrel. They also claim that zombies maintain some of their human memories too, which is why these are drawn to them all so much. That's actually a really cool addition to the lore, I must admit.
Get out of here.
Jesus Christ, Peter.
I don't want to go.
I want to get eaten by dead people? Yeah, Peter's not escaping when he can. Doesn't really make much sense to me. There's been no build-up to his possible suicide whatsoever, but yeah, whatever. And despite all of them seeing Peter clearly run into another room, the zombies decide to follow Fran up the ladder instead. Despite not being able to use ladders earlier, but who cares? The tension is built really well though. You are legitimately on the edge of your seat and you never know what's going to happen next. But as Peter fights back because he realised that it makes absolutely no sense for him to commit suicide, they even give Indiana Jones some music to rip off in a few years' time. think that was supposed to be funny. Oh well. And I do like the open ending. It was supposed to be more positive, but you don't really know their outcome. And then the goofy music to end it, of course. This movie is amazing. No, I mean it. It fixed almost every issue I had with the first one. The acting is great, the effects are great. Okay, sure, some of the zombie makeup and the extras are a bit lackluster, but for the most part, they're great. I actually liked these characters and wanted them to make it out okay, despite Peter's abortion fetish. And Fran was a really strong character that I don't think gets enough credit. In fact, Romero originally wanted her to scream, but the actress refused, saying that it would take everything away from her strength, and she was right. The first film was basic, which is understandable due to the budget, but this one goes all out, and it is a damn good sequel that surpasses the original by a country mile. You see a hair, but you can't like, where is it?